Hello again, everybody. I am Jeff Opens Cards, and today I am going to show you why, especially for smaller Splinterlands account holders, you should be playing SplinterForge and how you can get started and how cheaply it is and what you can expect for return. So I'm using a fresh account here that I have not yet used on SplinterForge. Stamina is currently full at 500. I'm not going to go over every detail, but hopefully enough that if you've never seen SplinterForge before, you'll understand enough that you can jump in and try it out yourself as well without being too detrimental for you. So up here in the top right in the purple, that is your stamina. Assuming you have no SplinterForge assets, your max mana cap for a battle is 45. Your stamina goes down each battle by the amount of mana you use. So if you're maxing out your lineup, you will lose 45 stamina per match, and that is regenerated 1 stamina per 1 minute. So with 500 stamina, that gives you 8 hours and 20 minutes. That if you get down to exactly 0, you can then play again 8 hours and 20 minutes later and do it all again. So the game allows you to play and max out everything while actually getting 8 hours of sleep when you so choose, because that's healthy. Anyways, so you can see down here, these are the bosses. We're going to focus on the lowest level boss here because I'm going to assume that those that don't know SplinterForge and are most intrigued by it are going to be smaller players looking for ways to generate some extra revenue for Splinterlands or just whatever. But as Gavin the Magic has done videos as well, I haven't seen the last couple yet, but they're on my watch list. Basically, you can convert Forgium to DEC generally at or very near a 1-to-1 ratio. So any Forgium you earn, you can kind of assume roughly you can change that into DC of the equal value. So if you earn 500 Forgium, you can make that about 500 DC if you want to go that route. But anyways, the last Browns boss was defeated at, I believe it was about 10 a.m. No, it was 11 a.m. There's my spreadsheet. Yeah, about 11 a.m., maybe like 10:50 a.m. Eastern. The last bronze boss was defeated, and this one generated about 1 p.m. Eastern, about 45 minutes before I'm recording this video. Didn't get on there right away, but close enough. So, and I also want to mention this will probably be like a 2 or 3 part mini series because I want to, in a future video, probably in a day or 2 at most, show you the end results of what I'm going to show you today. So, where'd my thing go? There we go. So I'm going to assume for this that you don't have anything in Splinterlands even that's good for SplinterForge. But first things first, this is going to be a little wonky. I apologize. But you can see here, the only ability that this boss will always have is Force Field. In Force Field in here, it does not go down to 1. It's rounded down. Sorry, the monster takes half damage rounded down. So if you do 5, it would do 2.5. I guess rounded down to 2. Sometimes it says round up. Maybe it depends on the boss. I haven't figured that out yet. But if you did, I just didn't click the boss, then click battle, and submit a team, it won't work. You have to first click get rules. That's something a lot of new players miss. So make sure before you try submitting teams, you click get rules because there's always some extra rules. And this one will change every battle. We'll get to that more in a little bit. So the only one that's going to matter that you want to kind of like base on what kind of team you're going to assemble is Force Field. So ideally you don't do 5+ damage. You do a lot of 3s and 4s ideally. But I'm going to basically make the same team here that I did on my last account that I showed on Twitter. JeffOpensCards as well. Check that out if you want to see text form of this in a way. I did that with the Milo Cat account last night. But this will be a more complete thing because I'm getting in on the boss at the start here. So I'm going to focus on a melee-based team for this one. Because that's what I've proven does well on bronze. I don't know if it's the best one, but I also know it's pretty cheap. So we're going to do that. So you can see here, once you go in here, you can click battle. Some people have already done almost 4,000 damage. We'll get into more of this nitty-gritty in a second. But you can see here, I don't have much on this account right now. My Kelia is a starter card, and they use the same calculations as Splinterlands does if you have starter cards, so you want to actually own the cards. But I do own some of the cards I want to get, but I'm going to show you what happens if I didn't own any of them. So I have a list on another screen here of, should be 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because each battle, you have a hero, which click heroes. I should probably show that. You can choose between warrior, wizard, or ranger, which is melee, magic, and ranged. So I'm going to stay on warrior in this instance because I'm going to make a warrior-based team. So it makes sense. And I'm going to end with at least one monster that has inspire, which is going to make this guy a little bit stronger. Okay. And if you buy assets for SplinterForge, then you can power them up, but that's going to be beyond the scope of this video. This is just the bare bones, and actually, currently, for now, all of my accounts are bare bones. All my heroes are naked. So that's how we're doing it. But considering going deep, but we'll see. But anyways, we need to assemble our team before we submit a team, don't we? So we're going to go over to Peak Monsters here, and we're going to rent some cards. So let's refresh. So Summoner's level does not matter. For the monsters, it does. And it's a little different than Splinterlands. You can see here, max monster levels are 3, 3, 2, 1, whereas in Splinterlands, it's 3, 2, 2, 1. So you can have a slightly higher level rare. And we're going to focus on this being max level for everything for the bronze boss. So this count only has starter card for Kelia. I'm going to get max rewards, so I'm going to rent a Kelia. So, current cheapest on the market, survey says, bum, bum, bum. So it says 1.96 there, but it's actually like 2.3. So I'm just going to go down a few here in case a few go, because they're all the same price. So, and hopefully, I'm going to have to do this part kind of fast because I don't want things to like get sniped after logging a cart. I'm going to need a Yasik. Well, I'm going to move some of these before I check out, but because some of these I already own. I already own the Yasik, so I'm not going to keep it, but I want to show you guys how much it would cost if you had nothing. Nothing. I want the Kraken. We're going to summon the Kraken. Ooh. Well, let's see if I can get that cheap one. Nope, already rented. So this is going to cost me more than last night, because last night I got a Kraken for 4 DEC for 2 days. So I paid 2 DEC per day. So this might be a little more expensive than I was hoping on, but as you'll see here in a moment, it should still work out just fine. Demented Shark. Okay, so this one, that's a common. I don't know what, so I want rare, level 3, epic, level 2, legendary, level 1. Okay, so Demented Shark. Very, very cheap, even at level 3. I just like to filter just in case there's like an outlier and just make sure I know what I'm getting here. It's loading a little slow for me right now, unfortunately, but let me just, there we go. So I'm just gonna go down to here. So it's only 0.002 more, just to reduce the chance of it getting sniped out. We want Murdelli Guardian, which I already have that one, so I'm not gonna keep it in cart, but. And one thing for this too is like, you can kind of check. Sometimes you can get, so in this case, you can see here, level 4 is cheaper than level 3. So unless you want a gold foil for bonus on Splinterlands, gold foil won't matter in SplinterForge. You know, might as well take level 4 so you have a better option. It's already rented, but just you have a better option if you don't already have it on Splinterlands anyway, because you might as well improve your chance to win on Splinterlands at the same time. Double dip your investments here. Tidebiter. So we want a level 2 epic. Oops. So a whopping 0.4. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, sorry. So 0.527. We want Hobgoblin with the double strike. I missed a note. So Hobgoblin. Ooh, he's expensive. It's going to cost me more than 1 DEC for 2 days of rentals. But he's got 2 melee. Cuts off a little bit there. We'll have +1 thanks to Mana Shark, so that'll be 3 melee. He'll attack twice. He'll do 6 damage each time he gets to attack against the boss. All right, 2 more. I want Spirit Hoarder. So I already have this one as well, but... Oop. Oop. Oh, gosh. Okay, so he's going to be a little more expensive as well. And then last but not least, Scavo Hireling with Repair. So expensive. So, if I need all of these cards, as soon as it goes my card, if nothing is sniped yet. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Did it go? All right. The 2 summoners already got sniped. There goes Scavo Hireling. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What did I add extra? Kraken, Shark, Murdelli, Tidebiter, Hobgoblin. I just can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I have 2 Demented Sharks. Okay. I'm like, what is going on? Okay, so let's try one more time here. Kelia. Oh, God. Oh. I don't need level 3, though. I don't need level 3, though. It's like, wait, how did that jump so much? Add, please. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. What the heck? Just give me level 1. Sorry. Just give me one. Any one. Any will do. Sorry, it's taking a little longer than I hoped, but I want to show you every step of the process. All right, we might get that one. Yasik. Okay, so like I would get a few. If you do this, I would get a couple at a time, and I try to get all of them at once. But I want to make sure that I can show you guys in a single clear thing here. Like, okay, if you need everything, here's what it costs. Dun 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 dun. Come on, just go in the cart. Please go in the cart. Okay, I think we're in the cart. Okay, so if I need all of these for a duration of 2 days, 46.612 DEC. 46.612 DEC. So we're going to assume that that is your cost to do this. But it won't be mine because I already have the Merdali Guardian, I have the Tidebiter, I have the Spirit Hoarder, and I have the Yasik. So my cost is 23.57. So I already have some. I may have other ones I could have delegated. I'm going to do credits here just because I have them. But the DEC is what matters because you can get Forge image, convert to DEC. So for this example, we're just going to say 50 DEC. And like a lot of times, like if you use the Biz or something, like you can probably get the Kraken for cheaper. Spirit Hoarder, maybe. But yeah, the two summoners, Kraken and Spirit Hoarder, are the ones that will cost you the most on average. So I should have everything I need now. So I'm going to go back to the game. Okay. Click in here and go to battle. So again, make sure the random ability here is showing or it's not going to work for you to get further than this page. Oh, I got to refresh first because I just got those cards. So refresh to make sure the cards I just rented exist. Battle. Yep, my Kelia is no longer a starter card. Yasik that I already owned. We want the Kraken. We want the Demented Shark. We want the Merdali Guardian. We want, like, and you can filter by mana. I just don't have that much on here, so it might be faster for me to not Hobgoblin. Also, the order of the monsters is not supposed to matter. So you don't have to stress too much about that either. Spirit Hoarder and what am I missing? Tidebiter? Yep. So this is everything I rented. So you can see here, we're going to get +3 speed in total. The piercing and scare shot won't matter because there's no armor and it's one monster. But yeah, +3 speed, +1 armor. Armor is important to have because we're using repair. And also any type of healing on here will apply to anybody. So tank heal is not always going to apply to the first position monster. Triage can apply to anybody, etc. Oh, and if they got this symbol, the purple, it does 1.5 times damage more. So actually, maybe given this rule set with the Force Field, maybe Tidebiter wasn't the best choice because he's a 2. Demented Shark will make him go to 3, and then the 1.5 times will go to 5. And for this one, Force Field says it will do half damage rounded down. So it'll actually only do 2 damage in the end. So possibly that was not the best choice for this one. I didn't think that through fully. And actually Kraken 2 is going to be a 5, so it only does 2. So we're going to see how much damage this does, and then maybe rethink it a little bit. But so maybe this wasn't even the best team at all. Maybe I'm going to scrap this, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's go battle. Perfect World, we do 500 plus damage. That's kind of the most I expect to do at this level. But you can start the fight. You can speed it up from 500 to 1,000. But I'm just going to skip the results here because it's kind of hard to follow anyway. If you want to see it, by all means, you go right ahead. We're just going to skip the rewards and see. All right, we did fine. 626 damage. And that earned us 12.51 Forgium. So remember, for our example, if we had none of these cards, we would spend at most 50 DEC, which would be for 2 days of rentals. We just got a fourth of that back in a single battle. And that single battle did 45 mana. So 45 stamina was used. I can basically do that another 10 times. Or even more. How more, you ask? Well, you can see here now, I got not a very good random ability given that we're doing melee. They got shield. But we can't re-roll it per se. Or can we? Now, if you see over here on the right side here, under Forge rules, the second one here cuts off just like one letter, but it says each fight's stamina cost is equal to the amount of mana chosen, which we already told you. A minimum, though, of 15 stamina will be used if less than 15 mana is selected. So, if you have basically only one attack type that you can use, and you want to basically re-roll it, you submit a 15 mana team. And you might do a non-zero amount of damage, and it's the cheapest way to re-roll, basically. Because if we submit the same team we just did, it's going to do well under 200 damage. So I'd rather spend 15 mana to re-roll that to then be able to do hopefully 500 plus damage again instead. So, now one extra step I'm going to take here, since it is shield, I'm going to at least make it so that my hero can do something, because I'm not going to use my full lineup. So I'm going to switch from warrior to wizard, so that if it gets an attack off, it will at least hit the boss for the 1 damage. Since shield won't affect that. And then go back into battle. And I usually... Ooh, I have star cards here. So I'm still use Kelia because having the speed and the armor. Very, very nice. And normally I would use a life because I like to use Pelacor Conjurer. So if you own them, I would say use the cheapest life summoner you have. General Sloan probably ideally because there's some good 2 mana range between life and water that I like to use. So I'm still going to do it for this example. So yeah, it's not going to affect my words much. It shouldn't matter because I'm focused on the damage, not the Forgium in this case. If I get a lower percentage of less than 1 Forgium, not a big deal. Then I'm going to go to 2 mana. Now, I own the Pelacor Conjurer. So actually, for this level, it doesn't matter as much. I'd use this all the time in gold because it has Magic Reflect. I'm hoping to do some bounce back damage to the boss. But oh well. So anyways, I'm still going to go... Which is what I usually do. This is what I usually do in gold. But he has 1.5x damage in gold and does 2. So it's actually 2 plus 1. Sorry, 2 plus 1 because the Sloan is 3. Multiplied is 5. It would do less in this case because of Force Field. But he'll still do 1 because of shield. We got 14. So we got 1 mana left. So go to 1. I'm going to use Cast Agent to hopefully maybe dodge something. And then... if I had chicken, I'd play that 2 to fill the team. So 15 mana, 15 used, just to reset things. Any damage I do is a bonus. In gold, I often do a little bit over 20 damage, which isn't nothing, but it's not really substantial by any means. And in this instance, we did 3 damage, and we got 0.15 Forgium. The Forgium, I think, would have been higher, except we used some starter cards. So, like, it would have been like maybe a half a Forgium. So not a big difference in the scheme of things. And then now we got Magic Reflect instead, which is very good for a melee-based team. One thing I forget sometimes is I forget to change my hero back. So we're going to do that. Go to battle. Go to battle. Kelia, Yasik. Speed is champ. Speed is Kane. Especially in this game. Oh, why is Speed Kane in this game? Well, if you look right here in the rules, Speed is normalized to use a turn meter type system. Faster characters will attack more often instead of everyone attacking every turn. So, for easy math, let's just say that there is a 10 speed monster and a 1 speed monster. That means that, like, the 10 speed monster, that's considered like 10 clicks. Am I thinking this backwards? Let's just say the 1 speed monster is like 1 turn. Well, the 10-speed monster would attack 10 times for 1 time the 1-speed one does. A 5-speed would attack 5 times, so on and so forth. I believe that's how it works, at least. So, basically, like, if you can slow down the boss and speed up your own guys, or any combination thereof, you can attack with your monsters more often per turn than the boss will attack you. Since the boss has 3 attacks, that's a big deal. So, in our instance here, we get plus 3 speed. And let's see, boom, boom. I don't have that, like, there's not really any other speed buffs. I think actually there are no speed buff options for me beyond that. Yeah, there is no slow, there is no swiftness. In gold, that happens all the time. We can get like a 4 or 5 speed buffer, not including your summoners. In which case you're often using Kelia and Kitty. That gets more expensive as well. That's why I focus on bronze today. Something that I feel everyone should be able to afford reasonably well. Anyways, so 12, 6. We want the Hobgoblin. We want... What did I not? Oh, I didn't click on the Kraken? Mobby. All right. Oh, and FYI, if you don't like Medallion Guardian for whatever reason, you could get Mermaid Healer instead. It's basically the same stats, I believe. Just FYI. I think it's literally the same speed, same health. Has triage instead of tank heal, but it'll do the same thing in this game. And they're usually pretty equal for rental costs, but maybe one cheaper than the other when you look. Take the cheaper one if you don't have either already, and minimize your costs. Okay. Oh yeah, the one thing you could get to slow down your opponent would be Creepy News. So one other different line I used in the same situation. Let's see. What did I not have? 5. Oh yeah, it's actually less mana. So it's the same lineup. Oh shoot, that's what I want to do. Sorry, I'm all over the board. Crustacean King would be better to get than Medallion Guardian. Unless there is a like Return Fire rule set. Let me just check here quick. Crustacean King. So yeah, at level 3, it gets 1 range attack. And oh, it's 0.186 DEC. So we're gonna snag it. So that increases my cost by 0.372 DEC. It hurts, I know. It hurts. So that brings my... So if you were starting from scratch, everything I did here and it showed, it would still be 46.984. So we're still good to round that up to 50. All right, so I'm going to refresh this. So even just having the extra monster, just depending on the rule sets, not a bad thing. And this will probably be the last battle I show you, and then I'm going to pause my recording and show you what I'm at after I've used up all my stamina this first go round, okay? So, still Kalia, still Yasik, boom, boom, Hobgoblin, Tidebiter. So, did I not get it? Maybe it got sniped for me. Maybe not. Wait, let me refresh this. Looks like it may have gotten sniped or it's slow right now. One of the two. Let me pause my recording for a second here. Be right back. Okay, just took a minute that time for it to actually show up, but we did get the one we tried for 0.186 DEC per day times 2 days. A little under 0.4 DEC. Super expensive. And you can see here it shows up in game now. So, we still want Kraken, still want Demented Shark, and we want Hobgoblin. That's our main stuff, and I think everything else is a 3. So, it's got the heal, plus we'll do some damage, which is better than Medallion Guardian, doing no damage. Oh, that's one thing to consider, though. One thing to consider. So Medallion Guardian is faster, so it'd probably heal somebody more frequently than Crustacean King will. So we'll see how this damage compares to the first one we did. Because the first one was, what, 600 some? So we'll see if we get close to that or not. But this time I don't want to use Spirit Hoarder, I don't think, because it's going to Magic Reflect and get damaged. And I'd rather my healers focus on something like the Kraken. So, let's see. I need 2 more. So we'll go higher lane. I guess we'll still do Medallion Guardian in this instance because of Magic Reflect. So it's not going to be an exact apples to oranges or whatever comparison I'm trying to do here, but he'll do more battle depending on the rule set here. But we'll see. We'll see. What do we get this time? It is 506. Like, anytime I get 500 plus here in bronze, I'm happy. Because I think anything over, what they say in the Discord is 200? I think you do over 250 damage, you're basically going to max out at about 12.5 Forgium. So if you can do at least 250 damage per battle, you're doing well. But if you do 500 plus consistently, you have a much better chance at leaderboard. Okay, now we got Thorns. That'd be a reset option, but I'm going to pause here, and I'll come back here with an interesting rule set or after my stamina is gone, and we'll give you some more information at that point. BRB. And 2 battles later, we have Affliction, which I think I often re-roll this, but I'm going to test it out just to see firsthand and show you guys, too, if you feel it's worth rerolling or not. And also, side note, on the last battle you guys saw, I forgot to change my hero back from magic to melee. So probably would have done a little bit extra damage had I done that than we actually did in that 506 damage, was it? But, like I said, that's one of the main mistakes I often make. But anyways, again, affliction here. So we don't want healers, especially if they don't do any damage. We do want repair, though. Repair will still be muy bueno. Definitely want to ban a shark. Definitely want the hobgoblin. So we want Scavo higher lane. Unfortunately, this level Medallion Guardian does not have repair, so I think that's their only repair option. So given that, I feel like this is going to be a desirable reroll, but let's see what else we can put together here. So we still want to focus on melee. Now keep in mind here that, actually, so yeah, TIE Biter. I don't want to mess up our stuff, so I should not use things that you wouldn't have. Right? So those we'd have to technically add to our rental costs. Now, a lot of people will probably have a level 2, but a level 1 Uraeus. So I would probably use Uraeus here because it's going to do... Actually, you do 5. I did want to avoid 5s, I think, although we've done well with TIE Biter. I'd probably use the Pelcor Bandit here because it'd be 1+1 for 2 times 1.5 would be 3 damage for 3. Not too shabby in this instance. Deep Lurker, if you want to just go all in with the 6. Although he'd be 5 as well. No, he'd be 3+1 is 4 times 1.5 is 6. Half would be 3. So we'd still do 3, 4, 6. Pelcor Bandit, 3 for 3, be better, less health, etc., etc. But so if you have those things, you can do better. Maybe Crucible Prod, even as a starter card, be usable. But I guess while it's not advised, I'm still going to do the things we rented, and only the things we rented. So Crustacean Cane, and I guess Spear Horrocks, at least they'll do damage, but they're not going to heal. So this is not going to be a good result. Just showing you guys firsthand, if there's Affliction rule set here in this instance, you might want to consider rerolling it. Because I'm going to guess we're going to do under 200 damage, maybe even under 1 or 150. And we do 126. So pretty accurate. So if not for Affliction, with that same exact lineup, we probably would have had a good chance of 500 plus again. But we did not. So I'll pause again here, but main takeaway there is if you roll Affliction, strongly recommend or advise that you at least consider re-rolling it with a 15-mana team. Another real quick note, you can't submit more often than every minute. If you do, you'll see a server error has occurred. So if a minute or less has passed since you last clicked battle, and you clicked your team too fast, like I often do now, you just have to make sure you wait at least a minute. You just keep trying until the minute's passed if you don't know what it is. And once the minute is passed, any second now, it'll work. But every time it says a server error occurred, odds are it's because you went too fast. And there we go. Now we're in. And also the battle before that, the rule set was Fury. I still tested it, but only did 107 damage because the Kraken has taunt. So Rawhide was doing double damage to it. Did not go well. 107 damage. So in this instance, I would also recommend that if you see Fury and you're using a Kraken or any team that has a taunter, you're probably going to want to reroll that one as well. But now we're back to roll 558 damage, looking good. This one, FY, had Return Fire rule set, so I used Medallion Guardian instead of Crustacean Cane for this one. Alrighty, I now have my stamina down to 11. I was hoping to get one more good battle in, but I think I just had 3 rerolls in a row. So my results are actually going to be below average, I feel, for what you can expect per like 8-hour session of grind. You can see here already at the top, I've earned 96 forging in total. Again, I spent less than 50 DC for 2 days of rentals. And since the stamina recharges every 8 hours, roughly, so we did it when we first rent. So, in the 0 hour, we can do it again at the 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and, one more time before the rents will expire at 48. So you can get like 7, at least 6.5 times in. So 96 times 6.5, you can get 600 plus Forgium per rental cycle. that cost us 50 DC. So that's already well over 500 Forge in profit. Now, if you look at like profit per hour, it's not very high. But if you enjoy playing games and you want to, fund your rentals for Splinterlands so you can, perhaps level up and grind further into higher leagues and stuff, it's a great way to do so, I think. And just show you in full detail here. So yeah, I had 4 rerolls at the end there. I think I had a shield, I had a thorns, I had a retaliate, and an affliction. I think all back to back to back to back. So a lot of undesirable rule sets, but all the ones I did that weren't undesirable, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half. This might have been one that had like affliction, or maybe it was the fury battle I tried, something like that. 5, 6, a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half. So in one session, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ideal matches. 6 times 45 is 270. So I used a little over half my stamina on good battles, and the other half was either ones that weren't great, because I tried one that was affliction and one that was a fury that I should have rerolled, and then plenty of other rerolls. So I did 16 battles total, and while this isn't going to hold by the end, for now, I am 4th on the leaderboard, which if the boss was somehow dead right now, I would get 22,500 Forgium. And again, it cost 50 DC of rentals to get to this point. So like I said, this is going to be a multi-part video, probably just one more part, because these bronze bosses seem to die in 24 hours or less usually. So we might actually get a chance, well, depending, there'll be 1 or 2 more videos for like this mini series of like how to start and why you should start playing SplinterForge. Mainly I want to show you what we end up earning by the end, which may be 1 or 2 bosses that are involved. So best case scenario, we get on leaderboard at least 1 time with these rentals. So far there's 128 players on this leaderboard. The last boss that died in bronze had 540 total players submit 1 or more battles against it. But leaderboard pays out to the top 100. So if you finish in 100th place, you get 2,500 Forgium. And I feel we're gonna confirm either way. But my current belief that I expect to have happen is that if you're able to do rentals and field a competitive team against this bronze boss fairly early in its lifespan, as in when its health is, say, 95% or better, I feel like you have a pretty good chance of getting top 100 on the leaderboard. Now, as people like me and Gather Magic, Tales of Cryptmaster, etc., do more and more SplinterForge content and get more of you guys to start playing it, it'll naturally get hard to get leaderboard, most likely, if more and more players compete against each other, and or rentals get more expensive. Something will give. But in the here and now, in the very present day, present moment, I'm giving you real-time examples here of what you'd have to spend and what you can earn from that. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you have any questions, let me know, or join the Discord for SplinterForge. I'll try to remember to put a link for the SplinterForge Discord down below as well, to ask your questions. But again, this was with 0 cost on SplinterForge related assets. Only cost I had in this example was Splinterlands assets. But my hope is maybe within a week or 2, once I'm back home and back to normal, possibly doing another series that involves maybe becoming a whale in this game, which would involve doing a bulk buy or something for crates and or bags. But like I said, that's beyond the scope of this video. This is the introductory course, if you will, to SplinterForge, how to start, how much it would cost you to start, and what you can get as a return. So if you guys enjoyed, if you found value, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I'll see you next time, whenever and wherever that may be. Forge on.